Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to this week's fishing report. Like usual, guys, if you use any of the guides or resorts mentioned in today's report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. And with that being said, let's dive right into this week's fishing report. Since last week, not a ton has changed. It does seem like on Leech and Winnie, the walleye bite has improved some, but the walleye bite on Mille Lacs has remained tough. But let's start out on Lake Winnie. We'll start off with the walleyes out there. The best walleye bite still seems to be that 9 to 14 foot of water on the weed edges and pulling spinners through the weeds. Now, an inline spinner, tip that with a fat head, has been working best, with a half of a crawler being a close second. Although I would recommend having some leeches in the boat as well, because from day to day they are kind of being picky on what they want to bite on. Now, they are finding some walleyes out on those deeper humps, that 18 to 24 foot of water on the top and bottom edges of those humps. There's still not a ton of fish congregated out on those humps, but they are picking up a few here and there. Now, a couple of other ways you can catch those besides pulling spinners. They're still dropping jigs with half a crawler or a leech, or a slip bobber with a crawler or a leech is working as well. Now, areas that are producing the most fish, Tamarack Bay has been one of the best areas all season, and that has not changed. If you're looking for walleyes, Tamarack Bay is the place to be right now. Now, as far as panfish go, they are catching some absolutely massive bluegills out there still. They're finding those in the pencil reeds in that 5 to 9 foot of water. They're getting them on slip bobbers with a small leech or a chunk of a crawler, or they are having some success throwing some small spinners with a crappie minnow or a small fathead. Now, as far as the crappies, not a lot of crappies showing up, so not much to mention there. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, the perch are still pretty scattered. They are picking up a few while trolling those weed lines with spinners for walleyes. Tip those with a fat head in. They are bringing in a few nicer perch. Now, as far as the pike bite goes, they are starting to catch quite a few nice pike out there, those upper 20s to low 30-inch range. So if you're looking to catch some pike, whether you want to fry it, bake it, pickle it, Lake Winnie is a great place to be right now. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Lake Winnie, the Pines Resort, they have cabins, campsites, full bar and restaurant, rental boats, live bait, fish cleaning shack, dock slips, whatever you could ask for to make a perfect fishing trip. The Pines Resort has it. So if you're looking to get up to Lake Winnie this coming weekend or in the future, go ahead and call Chad from the Pines Resort. Now, if you're looking to book a guide up on Lake Winnie, Scott from zupsguideservice, he is the premier walleye guide up there. Not only is he going to take you out and put you on some beautiful walleyes, but he's going to teach you why, when, where, and how to do that. And if you want to get out on one of the other local lakes up by Winnie, Scott can do that as well. So if you're looking for a guide up on Lake Winnie or the surrounding area, go ahead and give Scott a call from Zups Guide Service. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake. The walleye bite has improved a little bit out there. The best bite is still on those shallow weeds in that 6 to 11 feet of water, especially if you have a live scope and you can pitch a slip bobber right on top of their head. That is the best way to catch those fish right now. Otherwise, pitching a 1/16 or a 1/8 ounce jig tipped with a leech or half a crawler is working as well. Now, they are still catching some of those walleyes out on those main lake breaks in that 14 to 22 foot of water. They're trolling crankbaits early morning and late evening, and then during the day pulling spinners or Lindy rigs down those break lines, tipping those with a leech or half a crawler. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, the perch are extremely scattered out there. Not a lot of good reports coming in on the perch bite, so not a lot to offer as far as the perch action. Now, as far as panfish goes, they are still catching some really nice bluegills out there. They're finding those in those shallow, weedy bays, such as Sucker, Boy, Steamboat. Find some wild rice or some reeds, throw a slip bobber or a small jig up in there, tip it with a small leech or a chunk of a crawler, and you're more than likely going to catch some really nice bluegills. Now, as far as the muskie bite goes out there, the Paris Trench is still producing some really nice muskies, primarily throwing big rubber baits such as a bulldog out there and having some success pulling some of those suspended muskies. Now, the majority of the muskies are being found on those shallow main lake rocks or those shallow weed lines, throwing bucktails, jerk baits, or some topwater, and having some success getting those to eat. Now, as far as the smallmouth bass bite goes, they're basically settled into their summer spots now. They're out in that 8 to 16 foot of water on those main lake rock piles, those secluded boulders, getting those on drop shots and Ned rigs. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Leech Lake, Acorn Hill Resort has a beautiful spot on Traders Bay. Whether you're looking for a cabin or a seasonal site, they have both. A full barn restaurant, live bait, whatever you could ask for, they got it. So go ahead and give Kyle a call from Acorn Hill Resort. Now, if you're looking for a guide up on Leech Lake, we are partnering up with Parker from Davis's Guide Service. Whether you want to catch walleyes, bass, pike, panfish, whatever it might be, whether you want to fish on Leech or the surrounding area, Parker has those fish dialed in. So go ahead and give him a call and get something on the books. All right, now moving over to Mille Lacs Lake. Unfortunately, the walleye bite out there has been extremely tough, basically all season long, and it doesn't seem to be improving. I tried to get some info on where they would recommend even trying for them, and they really didn't have much to offer. If it were me, I would be pulling lead core out over the mud flats in hopes to get a reaction bite, because they do not seem to want to eat any live bait, and overall is just a tough bite. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, they are still catching some really nice perch out there. They're finding those anywhere from that 16 to 30 foot of water. The shallower you find them, the smaller they tend to be, the deeper you find them, and the bigger they are. Now, the best ways to catch those perch, slip bobber with a leech is king. Otherwise, pulling some bottom bouncers or dropping a jig will produce a few of those nice perch as well. Now, as far as the smallmouth bass bite goes, the majority of those shallow smallies have pushed out a little bit deeper. That 10 to 18 foot of water is holding the majority of those fish now. Big rock piles, secluded boulders, rock reefs, throwing a drop shot or a Ned rig is working best. And they are catching some absolute hogs out there right now. Now, as far as the muskie bite goes, it has been really tough out there. Talked to a few guys who have gone several times and haven't even seen a fish. Talked to a couple guys who have seen and caught one or two all season long. The majority of the people who are actually saying where they're finding those fish are saying you need to locate the schools of tullibes if you even want to have a chance to see one. Now, if you're looking to book a guide up on Mille Lacs Lake or the surrounding areas, we are partnering up with Joe from Keeper's Guide Service. If you want to fish walleyes, more than likely he's going to take you to a smaller local lake. But if you want to chase smallmouth or perch, more than likely he will get you on them out on Mille Lacs Lake. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and give Joe a call from Keeper's Guide Service. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's fishing report. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Like usual, if you take some pictures, send them over to us on Facebook or to our Gmail. And remember, if you make it out fishing, be kind at the boat ramps, respect other fishermen, don't crowd your neighbor, and most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.